as we think about setting that horse up for our lead change, controlling the horse's body, controlling the head and neck, shoulders, rib cage, then ultimately that hindquarters. And to be able to control, meaning every stride, tempo, speed, the elevation of his shoulders, those things through that horse's body. So we're going to do a lot of counter cantering today. We're going to do a lot of speed transitions and speed control. Because sometimes if you have a young horse that's not a great loper or a great mover, or maybe he doesn't carry himself with a lot of lift, he's a heavy-shouldered colt, sometimes adding some speed to our lead change can help that horse move a little cleaner, change leads a little bit cleaner and a little easier also. And so one of the drills I want to show you before I get my horse out is that I'll be loping a circle to the left, and if I'm coming around in the left lead, doing my left circle, I'm going to leave this end of the arena and come diagonally towards this side. Now, I'm in the left lead, and as I approach this end, I'm going to hold my horse's body straight, head, neck, and shoulders straight, feeling the shoulder control and feeling like I can control his shoulder. So here, I would like to be able to push his shoulder to the inside a little bit and see some of the outside eye, some of the right rein. As I come across the center, working diagonally across this pen, I want to be able to control that shoulder and move his shoulder. I may come to this end and counter canter, coming around and counter cantering, and then working back. The part we're going to focus on primarily today is going to be the shoulder control. There's so much knowledge out there about the hindquarter control and moving the hindquarters. I want to think about setting up from front to back and having control of the head and neck and the shoulders as we talk specifically about the lead change. And so I'm going to trot some circles and show you a little warm-up that we do to gain control of the shoulders and through the horse's body control. That way they understand this. And if your colt doesn't understand how to move the shoulders or move his body while in motion, it's important to spend a lot of time there trotting, loping, and then even as we get going, I'll show you how I work on this at a higher rate of speed, almost a gallop, to control his body before our lead change. And so we want the softness through his face, through his shoulder, through his ribs, to the hindquarters. And I'm just picking up my inside hand, pushing the shoulder out. You can see him right front over left front as he expands this circle, pushing the shoulder out. And it's important to start there, just like we would start with any colt in some groundwork of lunging or movement from the ground. It's easiest to push your colt to the outside of the circle. So you notice my hands are in front of my saddle horn. I'm pushing the colt to the outside of this circle, controlling the shoulder. And that's where I want to start, with softness through his head and neck, through his body, emphasis placed on controlling the shoulder. Now I'm going to, at this point, slide my foot back. And we think of that shoulder control being my leg forward near the shoulder. If I want to move the hindquarters, I'm going to slide. And I'm just asking him to extend his stride and have a little bit more forward motion. That's off of my legs and off of my seat, slightly leaning forward in the shoulders, asking him to move forward. And now that I have some forward motion, I'm going to slow my seat and slow my legs and ask him to come back to a slow lope. I want to feel this colt be comfortable slow and be comfortable a little faster. And now that he's comfortable, fast and slow, now I'm going to start working his body control. So I'm going to start to push his shoulder to the inside like I did in the trot circle. Notice I've shortened my outside rein and I'm using my left leg, my left spur, to push his shoulder forward and shoulder to the inside. So I've got my right lead. I'm going to start to go diagonally around the arena, setting him up. I'm adding a little bit of speed as I come into this corner. Much better, way softer that time. Good boy. Just testing that counter canter again. Much happier with it. Really good. And from here, I can either let him relax back on my straight line again, or I could counter canter into that end, depending upon what I felt like he needed in his body control. So now I'm speeding up to where it's my idea to add the speed. not the lead change, but it's my idea before the lead change to soften his body. And as I'm coming around, I'm gonna push his shoulder to the right, pushing his shoulder out, ask him to change leads, and then continue straight. Really happy with how he changed there. He was really quick to move his hindquarters, and because he had his shoulder all the way out of the way, that was an easy maneuver for him, and he was very relaxed about it. And if that was the first time he changed